Can you give us an overview of what the current system is and how it helps businesses?
Basically, it's available only for companies, which I think is a bit unfortunate, but it's only for companies. And there's a demarcation line at $20 million turnover. A lot of the people who undertake research and development at that stage have got no turnover. But the demarcation line's $20 million in turnover. So there's different support for under $20 million to what is available for over $20 million. Basically, there is a set process which is very similar to the way the government perceives that universities operate. So you just don't widely go off and spend the money. The company needs to identify what their idea is and undertake some preliminary investigations. And they have to do some research into things like prior art. So there's some real jargon creeps into this. That frightens some people and it frightens some accountants, but I don't think it should. It's the rules that you need to undertake reasonable amounts of research. And today, of course, we've got the internet. This would have been very difficult prior to the internet, but you can search to see if someone else has already invented something. And if they have, you can go ahead and do some more inventions on that if you want to, but the Australian government's not going to give you a taxation benefit for doing so. That's as blunt as I can put that. So the benefit is you get a 43.5% tax rebate if your turnover is under $20 million on the research and development expenditure that you've undertaken. And that is paid as a rebate of your taxation. So if you've spent $100,000 on research and development, which you would get $43,500 off your taxation payment. But if you're one of those companies that are currently trading at a loss when you incur this research and development activity, let's take that $43,500 rebate that I just mentioned that we were going to claim. If your losses in the year were $60,000, you can the tax office will pay that $43,500 to the company straight into their bank account within 30 days of the company lodging its tax return. So it's very good for helping young businesses just starting off doing research and development to get some cash flow back into their businesses. The only unfortunate part of it, I think, is that's only done once a year. So companies who are undertaking research and development normally are wanting their accountants to finalize their tax returns, by the second week of July if they can, so that they can get their tax return lodged and the application report that's got to go to Oz Industry into the system so that they can get a refund. Now, in actual practice, that works fairly well as long as you've supplied all the information. That refund is deposited into your bank account, your company's bank account, within about 30 days of lodging the tax return. So it's a good system. Some people are advocating that payment could happen every quarter, but the government hasn't taken that idea on at this stage.
Yeah, so it's a great incentive. But again, you mentioned that key thing is that the payment comes after you lodge your tax return for the year. So you've got to spend the money up front. You've got to actually physically outlay it. So in terms of any research and development project, you need to work on your cash flow forecasts and actually secure some funding or have funding available before you commence any of that activity.